welcome everyone to Coffee with a Codex. My name is Dot Porter, and I am a curator in the Schoenberg Institute for Manuscript Studies in the Kislak Center for Special Collections, Rare Books, and Manuscripts at the University of Pennsylvania Libraries. Once a week, Thursdays at noon, which is right now, I pull a book or two off the shelves and show them off in this little Zoom room. This is pretty informal. So if you have questions or comments as we go, please put them in the chat. This week especially, the manuscripts that we're looking at are in Arabic and Coptic, and I think they're fascinating, but I don't know a whole lot about them. So if that is your expertise, it is your time to shine. So don't be afraid to interrupt and tell us about these manuscripts. So with that out of the way, also welcome if you're new here, if you've never been here before. I love it when new people come, and of course I see all of the familiar faces, and it's great to see you here too. All right, so let's get started. So the first manuscript that we are looking at today is CAJS Rar Ms 192. So both of these manuscripts are from the library at the CAJS Center, which is part of the Kislak Center, but it is the, there's no but about it. It's the Judaica collection, and it is in a different location. So the CAJS Center is actually in Old City. I think it's like down on 3rd Street or 5th Street. I don't know. It's basically... It's in the most historic area of Philadelphia. So if you ever come here as a tourist, you'll probably walk right past the CAJS Center. And they have an incredible collection, including the collection of the Dropsy College for Hebrew and Cognate Learning. So this was a college that was in Philadelphia. Let me see, I looked it up. I think it was founded in the late 19th century. It was chartered in 1907. And it ceased to grant degrees in 1986. So there were just about 80 years where it was a center for learning and education about the Hebrew language and things around the Hebrew language. And when the college was dissolved, the collection came to Penn and came to the CAJS Center, so we have a lot of their manuscripts. So both of these are from that collection. So the first one. So the reason that I picked these, I actually picked these for an event last year, and I liked them so much I decided I wanted to do them for Coffee with a Codex. So both of them are in Coptic and in Arabic, but they are slightly different. So I'll go ahead and open up this first one. This is 192. And as you can see, this one is opening from right to left, like an Arabic book would. And we open it up and we have I love it so much. It's just so pretty. This is North African, written in Egypt, which the Coptic. So this is something I had to do a little research for. So Coptic is the language of the Copts, who are people who are in North Africa, primarily in Egypt, and they are Christians from very, very early. So this is the Christian church that existed in Egypt from the existence of the Christian church, right? And what happened there is that it was very quickly in the 7th century and then onward taken over politically by Islamic forces and Arabic speaking. And so it is not surprising to see Arabic and Coptic together. So my understanding, and again, if you know more than me, this is your chance to say something, is that Coptic, which is this part that's written here, Coptic is the liturgical language particularly of the Coptic Church, the Orthodox Coptic Church, which is a church in Egypt, the Christian church in Egypt. I think there's 2, but that's the main one. But Arabic would probably be the language that people speak. at home. And so it's like the Coptic part is in this case, this is 2 prayers, right? So the prayers are written in Coptic, and then we have Arabic commentary or translations written around it. And in this case, because we're going right to left, it's being treated, or I guess it's sort of forefronting the Arabicness of the text, because Coptic is written left to right here, which you can kind of see because the first word here is in a thicker, the lines are a little thicker, and we have a little bit of a rubrication here. So it's starting here and going across, whereas the Arabic is reading this way. And I don't know why I find this completely fascinating, but I do. And then there's this lovely header. It's not really, there's no gold or anything, but it's clearly decorative. Somebody took a lot of time drawing that. So let's just page through. So both of these are later. Let me see. And I see the note in the chat, and I will get to it in just a second. So this was written between 1800 and 1899 question mark is what it says in the thing. So sometime in the 19th century. So Ghazwan, Coptic extension of Old Egyptian language modified in the early Christianity and adopted by early Egyptian Christians. Thank you. Yeah, so that's sort of the history of it. And the script, it looks very Greek to me, and there are it uses the Greek alphabet, but then also a lot of characters from Egyptian Demotic. So it's sort of a combination of those, so that's where you get that. So we can see the way that the pages are organized is, again, we have the main text, which is the Coptic text written here, and that it looks like it's in about thirds. So the right third is then the Arabic. And 2 prayers copied in the same hand and bound together. This first one is a short prayer to follow the Gospel of John in the morning. And then the second is midnight prayers, complete midnight prayers. So it's like daily prayers. So it looks like we have morning prayers, and then we'll get to the evening prayer here. And the record says that this is an Arabic translation. Although it's interesting to me that the Arabic is so much shorter. And I know neither language, so I don't know enough to know if maybe it's also being shortened, or if maybe the Arabic just doesn't take as much space. But that is what is happening here. So I said 19th century, and it's written on paper. The other manuscript is also written on paper. Let's see. Paper. Tina asked, yes, it is written on paper. We have a commenter. Arabic is always shorter. Okay, so that's probably just what's happening. And Claire says, it does not appear to have the wonderful Coptic binding, which opens flat. No, this is not a Coptic binding. In fact, I think it's got like 3, it has 4 choirs. So we just reached the end of a choir here. And I think it's just sort of sewn together. It's got 3, I don't know if you can see that, 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And if it was a Coptic binding, you would expect to see more. I can say more about Coptic bindings. But yes, and I see there's more notes. Tina is asking, do I know what it was written with, quill or metal nib? I don't know enough to know what kind of pen they would have used in the 19th century in Egypt. I'm sorry. Mathilde, it looks to have the same number of lines for each language, so I expect them to correspond. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's probably line by line, because you're right, they are, except here. There's no line. So, but it pretty well lines up. So the first prayer is here in the, yes, line by line, but fewer words in Arabic. So the first prayer is all in that choir. Choirs. So the quire is the section, the physical section. So you make a quire by laying out sheets of paper and then folding it together to make a little booklet. And this is the first quire or little booklet. And I think if I come to the middle there, so here we are in the middle, and you can see the stitching, the thread in the middle, and then these are sewn together, and that's where we see these 3 stitches here. Tina is asking me to speak to the illumination. So it is to me, it looks like a North African illuminated header. Arabic manuscripts are known, or at least I see them as having oftentimes like very beautiful illuminated headers. Sometimes you get a lot of gold in color. These are mostly gray with a little black and a little bit of red, but stylistically it looks like, in the other manuscript we'll see a lot more of these and they're fancier, so I'll be sure to get to that. But I think it's just the style of sort of North African illumination. And again, Guzwan said, the text says prayer for midnight. Yeah, so the first one was the prayer for St. John, which is the morning, and now we have prayers for midnight, which is kind of fun. When I think about daily prayer, I think about books of hours, which are a Catholic sort of late medieval Renaissance prayer book where you have prayers over the course of the day. And so I like that this kind of is a similar kind of thing, but in a different context. Right, so here's the prayer for midnight, and it looks very similar. Again, we have some sort of rubrication here. It's not like bright red, but we can see that these are highlighted words, and I like that they have highlighted it in the Arabic too. So the lion is highlighted in Coptic and also in Arabic. Here, it looks like someone is trying to align the lines, so they've actually put lines in to make sure they're lined up correctly. Mathilde says, I like its simplicity, like it's a book for use, not for show of wealth. Yeah, I think that's true. Like, whoever did this did their best with the decoration, but it's not like it was made to be fancy. It does seem more like it was made for an individual. Claire is asking how the cover is attached. I will show you that before I put it away and move to the next book, I promise, even though it's not a Coptic binding. But this is sort of, as we go through, it looks like we've got some kind of note written down the margin. We have another comment, definitely for private use, too small to be for anything else. Yeah, it is very small. In fact, when the person here, we're at the end of another quire, and we've got our stitches here. When the person in the reading room handed it to me, I thought they made a mistake, or that I made a mistake and requested the wrong book because it was so small. Murray says, interesting that the marginalia is in Coptic. And then, sorry, I'm just afraid to mispronounce your name, Lynn Alga. The marginal, Lena pointed out that this was actually an omission in the text. So that's why this is out in the margin, which explains why the marginalia would be in Coptic, I think. All right, super. So we're about halfway through, and the other book is a lot bigger, and I want to make sure we have a chance. But this has given us a good look at this one example of the Coptic and Arabic, presented in this way, organized from right to left, which is neat. So here we have the Dropsy College note in there. And I don't know anything else about the provenance aside from the Dropsy College, so I don't know how they got it. And so Claire asked about the binding. So this is how it's attached. If you can see that, it looks like there is one stitch that comes up into the binding and then out. And it's just a piece of paper. It's kind of a thick piece of paper, but that's it. So if we open it up, you can actually see the the rest of the thing. Actually, that might be Coptic stitch. It's a little hard to tell, but that might be a Coptic stitch. You would have to, someone other than me would have to get it, and it's probably hard to see. It's probably not in focus for you, but there we go. All right, so this is the first one. Okay. And then this is the next one. This is a lot bigger. Let me zoom out a little bit. Come on. Oh, come on. It's actually not that much bigger in terms of the cover size. I guess it's a little bit bigger. This is how they compare. But it's a chonkster. There we go, slightly bigger, yes, but a lot thicker. And this one opens, reads from left to right, or the page turning is from left to right. And there's a little bit more decoration. Thank you, Amy. Amy's just put the other link in. So I'm going to, let me see, there we go. So here we have a bit more decoration, right? We have this facing one. Oh, Lena says much older. Yes. So this is dated to 1791. So it is earlier. It's not ancient though, if it's right. But 1791 is the date. Are there lines to help the writer to write in straight lines? That's an excellent question. There aren't lines on the page, but Arabic manuscripts written in Arabic and in Persian, the way that they would do the ruling, my understanding, is that there was a frame that would be underneath with string going across. So imagine like a rectangle of wood with string going across, and you could either press the paper into the string that would be just enough to give you a little bit of a line to write, and then it would go away. Or you could probably just write with the string there. So that's how this is done, as opposed to in the West, where you have, where you're like writing out ruling. But I don't see ruling here. So whatever they did was something temporary. Someone asked, yes, Matilde, is that page with the yellow cross glued on another? You know what? Yes, it is. You can see here around the edge, it's been glued down, and I don't know if that was a blank page. You know what? That page isn't blank, because look at this. There's some kind of pattern here. So there's something going on here. Last week, if you were here last week, you met my class who was here for digital codicology. We did multispectral imaging at the end, and we're talking about now getting a multispectral setup here. And this is exactly the kind of thing that you can do with that. Is like we could take an image and see what's underneath. So I'm going to make a note about this. So similar in that we have Coptic on the left and then Arabic written on the right. But I do find it interesting that we're reading from left to right instead of right to left. It's like they made this decision that we are going to put the Coptic, preference the Coptic in the way that we're turning the page. We have a header. I want to see more headers, actually. We don't have the line. This is kind of interesting. So it's still a lot more Coptic than Arabic on the page, but we don't have the strict division. Like some of these Coptic lines are a little longer, and then the Arabic sort of comes up. Okay. Oh, and the text. So this is, let me see what it was. I had to look this up. This is Salmodia, which is specific to, so I'm seeing a little bit in the chat. So Lena and Gazwan, is this also the midnight prayer? Is this what you're saying? Is it opening with the midnight prayer? Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, so this is opening with the same prayer that was the second prayer in the other manuscript. I did not know that. In the record, it says that this is the Psalmodia, which is seems to be a set of texts that is specific to the Coptic Orthodox Church. And it is the Psalms, but also includes a lot of other readings, and it's made specifically to be sung. That was what my research told me. So that's what this text is, and also apparently the midnight prayer. So that's really cool. And the prayers, or the sections, there are sections because oh gosh, this is so pretty. Look at that. I love all of this rubrication. It's just really nice. And here we go. So there's more headers in here as well. And I'm going to start flipping through because I want to make sure we see these, because the rubricated pages are quite beautiful. Let's see. Gigi asks, is it normal that pages aren't numbered? Some manuscripts have number pages, some haven't. I'm still figuring out. So I can speak to the Western manuscript pages. In the West, they usually didn't number pages. And when you do get numbers in pages, it's usually modern numbering. So this is the modern numbering. And Lena is saying that it is not normal to have, I think you're saying it's not normal to have numbers as well. And I can say too that I don't usually see a lot of, it's not normal not to have numbers. Okay. So, but this one does not have numbers except for these. We now have like modern numbers in pencil, which is our usual practice now. Usually versos are numbers, so we would expect to see numbers on the verso. And this does have something, and I saw, but that might just be a continuation of the text. I don't know, maybe. Amy says page numbers became more important after printing, when the page numbers in one copy of the book would match all the other copies in the same run. I never associated page numbers with printing, but that makes so much sense, Amy. Thank you. Gazwan is saying, where'd you say? The red is instruction during the prayer, which if you were here for the, when we did the Greek scrolls, the prayer scrolls, they also had text that was set aside to sort of describe the prayer. Lena is saying with Coptic manuscripts, there were always numbers. I want to say you also see them in Arabic manuscripts, so that's an interesting difference between East and West as well. All right, I'm going to keep going to find the headers because I think they're pretty. And these are a little more, what do I want to say? Decorative? Not decorative, but they're more detailed. So it's not just colorful boxes. It almost looks like there's like a thread going through these, or like a ribbon. Theotokia titles with headpieces. So Lena says they're Theotokia. Sonata is asking what ink material creates these different colors. I don't know if Lena has more insight into the colors. I can say in Western manuscripts it can be any number of things. So it could be mineral or plants or even animals. There's like a red color that's made by crushing up the specific kind of beetle. So yeah, Lena says exactly the same. So it just sort of depends on that. I'm just opening this up. This is really nice. And there's something, this, you can see my hand through here. The ink, whatever this ink is made of, is sort of eating through the page, which is too bad. and it's darkened the other side. So that could be a sign of iron. Often iron will eat through a page like that and also cause this kind of staining. Miners. Yeah, so I think that is a bird. There is a bird. This is why I keep going, because there is one, at least one that has a bird. Oh gosh, that's so pretty. It's so pretty. It's so different from, like, you know, a fancy illuminated manuscript, but it's just someone really took their time with this. Oh no! Oh dear, look at that. That's just absolutely through there. That's so sad. Bird-shaped letters are very common. You know what? I think the one I'm looking for might be at the back. Let me see if we can find it. Oh, this is fun. So this is the what's it called? The colophon. So this is where the scribe signed it. So we know a little bit about who made it and the circumstances because of these notes, and also the colophon there. So yeah, so that's pretty neat. And also Arabic colophons are often written in this sort of pointy way, so you can see that. Let's see. I'm going to be sad if I can't find. Well, no, it will be fine. You all have the digitized copy, so you can actually go in and look for the headings too. Let's see. Oh, it's just so neat. And look at this. This choir is shorter than the ones around it. And I don't know why. Maybe they had one stack of paper that was a different size, and so they put it all together and used it. That's kind of fun. Here's another one of those fantastic headers. We have 2 minutes. I'm just going to keep going through. Okay, so this is interesting. Look at this. This is just Coptic. There's no Arabic here, but it's in this, so this choir. Oh, there's another bird there. I wonder if this is a different, because here's a section, no, and then we've got Arabic, and then we've got Coptic. Now this, I can tell that's a bird. That is great. So Matilde says, oak gall ink, which is iron gall ink, can eat through paper. Oak gall ink can eat through paper, and iron makes it darker, but I'm not sure of the geographical area of use. Okay, so Lena is saying that this Arabic is the translation of the previous Coptic text. So for whatever reason they did, in this case, they did the Coptic first and then the Arabic, and that might be, again, what's happening here, because here's more Coptic. Oh, and then it says, and then there's a little bit of Arabic. So Tina is asking, could there have been different scribes? I'm going to look at the record. The record itself says nothing about scribes, but Lena says, oh yes. So, yeah, Lena, do you know, would it have been a different scribe for the Coptic and for the Arabic, or would you have had the same person writing both? Do you have any sense of that? Would have had the same person. Okay, that is interesting. I like that. Oop. Oh no. Another one that's just, you should have used different ink. But that's so neat. So pretty. Okay, it's 12:30, which means that we're just about done. I do encourage you. I wasn't able to find all of the headers that I wanted to. So if you have a minute, look through the digital version and see if you can see them, because they're just so neat. And thank you all for coming. I'll miss you next week. I hope I'll see you again in 2 weeks. And have a great one. And oh wait, 33 recto. All right, quick, 33 recto. That's 63. That's also very nice. You all keep saying goodbye, and I'm gonna do this until I find 33, and then I'm going to sign off. Ah, this is the one I wanted because it's got the bird. Okay, I hope some people are still here to see the bird and the header. You haven't given up. All right, amazing. Thank you, everyone. Take care.